Hi. This video is going to be about revising paper number 2. I've graded your first set of revisions for the class, and now it's time to revise your poetry papers. You have my feedback to consider as well as good feedback from your peers in the peer evaluation. I noticed in my comments this time that I spent a lot of time on both your paper structure and on your interpretation of the poetry. There's lots for you to work on in revision, so I decided to extend the revision deadline by 24 hours. The paper is now due at 11:59 p.m. on Thursday, July 14th. This extension, of course, puts you right up on the deadline for the draft of paper number 3, so I've decided to extend that deadline too for 24 hours to 11:59 p.m. on Saturday, July 16th. A couple of points about revision. When you get your papers back from me, you should see a final global comment with strategies for revision, as well as more specific comments in little boxes throughout your paper, little comment boxes throughout your paper. When you revise, please make sure to attend to both sets of comments. If I take the time to tell you how to correct a specific error, I sure want to see that error corrected when I read your revision. If you've been having trouble viewing any of my comments, I just emailed a link with instructions from Outreach on how to make sure you can see the marginal comments as well as the final comments. Please check these instructions out. It's on you to get this right. What else can I tell you? As I predicted on paper number 1, the best revisions are those that change more than a word or a punctuation mark here and there. The best revisions take time to absorb my comments, think about them, reread the primary texts from the perspective of the feedback you've received. And our stories and poems are short, so it's really not a lot of work to reread them. In fact, it can actually be quite stimulating to go back to the original texts with the new ideas that you've received from me and from your peer reviewer. Your drafts are good. They have a lot of promise, but there's also a lot of room for improvement. You're introductory students. There's no shame in having a lot of room for improvement. Learning how to improve your work is what college is all about. So seize this opportunity. Okay, now a negative topic, cheating. Your work has to be your own. I know you know this. But on the first assignment for our course, a student plagiarized. He passed off someone else's work as his own. I discovered this and talked to him about his options, and he's no longer in the course. He does have pending a record of academic dishonesty on his student record. Today, I've discovered another student who did the same thing. By the end of today, she will also be out of the course and will also have the stain of academic dishonesty pending on her student record. I hate having to talk to you about this, but I can see that some students must feel or be tempted to feel, hey, this is an online course. I never have to look my professor in the face. I might as well cheat when the going gets hard. Here's a couple of thoughts. 1, I am a real person with a real life. I chair the English department at the University of Wyoming. I'm doing a ton of administrative work in this crazy summer at UW. I'm working 110% every day. When you submit a paper written by some poor chump who works for termpapers.com, and you ask me to spend my limited time and energy commenting on it as if it's your work, you are treating me like dirt. You shouldn't treat anybody like that. And if I find out that you're treating me like that, I will not tolerate it, period. 2, this is your education. If you cheat on your papers, you're learning nothing except how to be a dishonest person. Maybe that'll feel all right in the short term, but you are cheating yourself in big ways in the long term. I promise you. I know our course is hard. I said that on the very first day of the semester. The time frame is short, the workload is high. I'm assuming it's worth it to you because you get credit for your COM2 in 6 weeks. That's great. But please do it honestly. Of course it's hard. It should be hard. The fact that it's hard is not an excuse to say, hey, I get to go find a paper on the internet. When the work gets hard, you have to double down. I'm here to help you, and I hope you've already seen evidence from me that I'm here to help you. I love working with students, and I deeply respect students who put in an honest effort to learn the material and become stronger readers, writers, and thinkers. So that's my last word on plagiarism for the course. Don't do it. Do an honest day's work instead. You'll learn something, and you'll feel better about yourself too. I look forward to your revisions. Remember, they're due now on Thursday at 11:59 p.m. Thanks.